Confidence, a word which is a derivative from the Latin word fidere, which means to trust. So what is confidence? Confidence is basically having a faith on yourself, trusting your own capabilities, trusting your own potential, relying on your own strengths. आप अपनी जो भी आपकी क्षमताएं हैं, जो भी आपकी सामर्थ्य है और जो भी आपका कार्य है उनमें विश्वास रखना और अपने आप पे भरोसा रखना, basically that is self-confidence. So let me all welcome you to the fourth video, and in fourth video we are going to study something about self-confidence, right? So let us begin the journey. What is self-confidence? Self-confidence is an attitude that allows one to have a positive yet a realistic view of situation. Very important, realistic view of situation, because sometimes there are some of the people who are, I should say, who evaluate themselves at a very higher pedestal. There are some of the people who consider themselves as inferior fellows. So both the things are not desirable. We should be having a realistic view of our own capabilities and our own strength. So positive belief about oneself makes people believe in themselves and not others. So all these people who are endowed with good self-confidence, they always believe, trust in their own capacities, and they don't trust in the capabilities of other individual, right? So they are always carving their own future. They always have faith in their own abilities. It helps people take risk, because risk is directly proportional to gain. Unless we take up a risk, we won't be able to achieve anything in our life. So all those people who have good amount of self-confidence, they are always able to take more and more risk in their life. They are always trying to embrace, I should say, more challenges in their life. वो हर चुनौती को एक अपॉर्चुनिटी की तरह से देखते हैं और हर उस चुनौती का सामना करना चाहते हैं. उस चुनौती के माध्यम से वो अपनी क्षमताओं का और विकास कर पाते हैं. Makes people respect themselves first. So in last video when we were talking about self-esteem, all those people who have good self-confidence, they even have respect for their own entity. They have even respect for their own identity. So what is it characterized of? It is characterized of self-esteem, assertiveness, optimism, eagerness, affection, independence, trust, the ability to handle criticism. आप अपने जो आलोचना है उसको सृजनात्मक तरीके से और उसे पॉजिटिव तरीके से ले पाएंगे. आप आशावादिता से भरे हुए होंगे. आप अपने आप की रिस्पेक्ट कर पाएंगे. आप अपने आप पर ट्रस्ट कर पाएंगे. आप हर चीज़ को जानने के लिए उत्सुक होंगे और जिज्ञासु होंगे और आप अपने आप पर भरोसा रख पाएंगे. So let us understand what is the difference between the two terms. One was self-esteem and another self-confidence. So do they differ? Have they some kind of difference in them, or are they more or less the similar terms? So let us understand it. Self-esteem is how much you like yourself, how you see yourself, what we see when we look in the mirror. So once I have a look at myself in the mirror, do I say that yes, I am a strong individual? I am an empowered woman? Do I consider that yes, I am an intellectual? I am a scholarly one? I have immense capacities in myself. I can do marvels in my life. Do I have the same belief? Or whether I consider that yes, I am an insignificant entity in this world, yes, maybe that I don't wield influence on other people, maybe that I am not very impressive, maybe that I have bad habits, or maybe that I have several weaknesses in me. So self-esteem is what we see in ourselves when we look in the mirror. Self-esteem is somewhat passive and isn't something others can observe in you. Self-esteem generally दूसरों को दिखाई नहीं देती. वह चीज़ है जो आप अपने बारे में सोच पाते हैं और जिसकी आप खुद सम्मान कर पाते हैं. लेकिन ये दूसरों को विजिबल हो ऐसा ज़रूरी नहीं है. On the contrary, let's talk about self-confidence. Self-confidence is more active and describes our abilities and willingness to interact with the world around us. Let me tell you a fact. The fact is that the potential is not in our capabilities or having the capability to do something or not having the capability to do something. Everything just gets governed by our perception. If I think I can do something. And if I think that I cannot do, this is beyond my control, this is beyond my imagination, this is beyond my work area, then definitely you are not able to accomplish that. So, whereas self-esteem was something passive, others can't observe in you, self-confidence can be reflected to even other people. All the people who are exuding good self-confidence, they are vibrant, they are dynamic, they are able to cast their impression. Other people feel about them that yes, he is very confident, he is very impressive, he can really move the crowds, right? So self-confidence is something that others can observe in you, and therefore this is the difference between self-esteem and self-confidence. अगर आप में अपने आपके व्यक्तित्व में वह छाप है तो आप निश्चित ही दूसरे लोगों तक अपना प्रभाव छोड़ पाएंगे और वह अमिट प्रभाव छोड़ पाएंगे जिसको वो बहुत दिनों तक याद रखेंगे, स्मरण करेंगे. Let's talk about what is the difference between the people who have high self-confidence and the people who have got low self-confidence. So first of all, we will be talking about the people who have high self-confidence. So let's understand their characteristics. Doing what you believe to be right, even if others mock you or criticize you. So maybe because if we look at history, you can find several people who tried something noble in their own lifetime, who tried to have a revolutionary approach. What was done by society at that moment? Society never supported them. People started making fun of them. People started ridiculing them on one or other thing. And people started accusing them that you are going to be unsuccessful in this endeavor. But did they listen to all those people? No, definitely not. They simply tried to have faith in their own capabilities and they kept moving ahead. So basically, doing what you believe to be right and not listening to all those people who are criticizing you, who are making fun of you. Being willing to take risk and go the extra mile to achieve better things. So they are always ready to take up more and more risk in their life. And for that, if that requires dexterity on their part, if that requires diligence on their part, if that requires more and more perseverance on their part, they are able to do that. Why? Because they consider that unless we work hard, we won't be able to achieve our targets. Third characteristics, admitting their mistake and vowing to learn from them. So they are always ready to accept, to confess frankly that yes, I was wrong at this and this aspect. And they are always learning a lesson from their own failure. They are never deriding all those failure. Rather, every time failure is simply the stepping stone for their success, right? So all these are characteristics of the people who have high self-confidence. Waiting for others to congratulate on their accomplishment. Whenever they are achieving something in their life, they are always listening to all those people who are complimenting them. And how? They are not simply belittling themselves, rather they are accepting all those compliments very graciously. So, suppose if somebody compliments them for something, so their response will be, thanks, I really worked hard on that prospectus. I am pleased you recognize my efforts, because they know that they have put in a lot of hard work in that, and therefore they accept all those compliments very graciously. Right? So all these are characteristics of people who are brimming with more and more self-confidence. आइए अब हम जानते हैं कुछ ऐसे लोगों के बारे में जिनका कॉन्फिडेंस बड़ा लो होता है, जो दूसरों की ज़्यादा सुनते हैं और उन्हें अपनी कैपेबिलिटीज़ पे बहुत ज़्यादा विश्वास नहीं होता. So these people govern their behavior based on what other people think about them, what other people perceive about them. If somebody has said it to them that yes, you probably can't achieve anything in your life, so they simply take it as a dictate and they don't want to do anything in their life. They simply get governed by whatever is said by other people. They stay in their comfort zone, fearing failure, and so avoid taking risk, because they consider that they won't be able to handle that risk element, they won't be able to march ahead, and therefore they just fear failure. working hard to cover up mistakes and praying that they can fix the problem before anybody comes to know that. So they, instead of learning a lesson from their own failure, they are always trying to hide all those failures because they are more concerned about what others think. दूसरे मेरे बारे में क्या सोचेंगे, दूसरे मेरे बारे में क्या रिमार्क पास करेंगे, वो मेरी निंदा करेंगे या मेरी प्रशंसा करेंगे, वो हमेशा इसके बारे में ज़्यादा जागरूक रहते हैं और ऐसे लोगों का आत्मविश्वास कभी भी अच्छा नहीं हो पाता. They try to extol their own virtues whenever they get an opportunity. So such people keep blabbering about their own strengths. Such people keep blabbering about their own positives. Whereas if you have any positives or if you have any virtues, automatically it is going to be reflected to the entire world. They dismiss compliments also offhandedly. So if somebody is passing a remark for them or if somebody is complimenting them on their achievement, they will say, oh, that prospectus was nothing really hard, anyone could have achieved that. So what are they doing? They are belittling their own contribution. They are belittling their own effort. They are trying to make fun of their hard work, and therefore please remember, all these are the characteristics of people who are low in their confidence, and once they are low, then definitely they can't still any spark, any energy in even other people. Let's understand what are the strategies for improving self-confidence. Self-confidence को आप किस प्रकार अच्छा बना सकते हैं, आइए कुछ उन तरीकों के बारे में जानें. Number 1 is emphasize your strength. Everybody, every individual is a combination of strength and weaknesses. Our persona is an amalgamation of certain virtues and vices. I may be excellent at some of the things, but yes, there are fields in which I may not be able to perform well. So knowing my own self, recognizing my own strength, giving that due weightage, and then working on my own strength is very important. So emphasizing your own strength. Second one point is take risk without fear. Don't have anything in your mind and always ready to embrace new opportunities. Always ready to grapple something novel. Always ready to keep pace with something which has never been done before, right? So that is very important. Third point is use self-talk. How many times we talk to ourselves? Probably that is barely just for 1 second or 2 seconds. We never get time to talk to our own self. But believe me that if you want that your self-confidence should be high, start talking to your own self. You are going to get the responses and the questions from your own personality. And therefore, it is very important that we should find time to talk to ourselves. मैथिली शरण गुप्त जी ने अपनी एक कविता में कहा है, कोई पास न रहने पर भी जनमन मौन नहीं रहता, आप आपकी कहता है वह आप आपसे है सुनता. तो इसीलिए बहुत ज़रूरी है कि हम अपने आप से बात करें और अपने अंदर झांकें, और अगर हम अपने आप से बात करते हैं तो डेफिनेटली हम हमारे व्यक्तित्व को अच्छा बना पाएंगे. आस्क फॉर कंस्ट्रक्टिव फीडबैक. Not the people who are coming up with your own criticism, but ask for a genuine feedback. Ask for positive criticism, because positive criticism is going to refine, it is going to reshape, and it is going to polish your own personality. Therefore, it is very important that we should be following and we should be giving due weightage to this constructive feedback. Start loving your own self. We love so many individuals whom we come across in our life. We love nature, we love our surroundings, but how many of you have fallen in love with yourself? I hope there are very few people who do that. So start falling in love with yourself. Once I consider that I am a distinct individual, I am a strong individual, I am an empowered individual, I can do wonders in my life, whole life is there, whole opportunities are waiting for me, then definitely you are going to achieve more and more in your life. Next is, and the last point is, tips for self-confidence. So here are few strategies which you can opt. Number 1 is dress well and be relaxed. Don't have so many things in your mind, right? Try to look at yourself also in an empathetic way. How many times we start losing the same empathy with ourselves? We become very harsh to ourselves. You did not do this. You did not take it up in the right spirit. You were not supposed to do that. How many times we become harsh to ourselves? Please be empathetic towards your own self, right? Start excusing your own mistakes also. You should have a sympathy with your own self. Second is be prepared for the worst. Think in your own mind, yes, I am going to venture into something new. Maybe that I come across a failure, but it is not going to deter me from taking my path. It is not going to stop me. Obstacles and hurdles, I am going to meet them, but yes, I am going to walk over them. I am going to come across them, but yes, I'll emerge victorious. So that thought should be there in your mind. Reward yourself and compliment yourself, the people also who are in your surrounding. It is very important to reward yourself. How many times do we give ourselves a chocolate? Okay, you have performed good in the racing competition today, so here is a chocolate for you. Maybe how many times do we pet ourselves? Okay, Neerja, you have done wonderful today, but we forget to do so, right? So it is very important to reward your own self. Set SMART goals. Now, what are these SMART goals? We are going to cover in our subsequent videos. SMART, that also stands for something specific, measurable, attainable, realistic and time-bound. But we are going to discuss it in our subsequent videos. Maintain a positive attitude, very important, because positivity, optimism is the key to lead this life. If you are optimistic, if you are positive, you are going to come across and you are going to overcome all hurdles in your life. Listen to motivational speeches and write down your strengths. Believe me, that works more and more. If you study or if you read the books which are inspirational, if you listen to motivational speakers, that really helps, right? Because you come to know that yes, there are so many people who have also come across problems in their life, but they always try to overcome all those problems. Develop your own confidence by sharing and learning from others. There is no harm in learning the things from other people. How many times we become adamant? We think that I am self-sufficient. I cannot or I should not be learning anything from any other individual. Believe me, जिस समय आप ऐसा सोच लेते हैं कि मैं दूसरे से कुछ नहीं सीख सकता, उसी समय आप अपने विकास को अवरुद्ध कर देते हैं। और इसीलिए बहुत ज़रूरी है कि मुझे अगर किसी दूसरे पर्सन से कुछ सीखने को मिल रहा है तो मुझे डेफिनेटली वो सीखना चाहिए। Contribute to work and society actively, right? Be it your workplace, be it your educational setting, be it your surrounding, be it the society, be it the world at large. We should always be ready to contribute our own share. That's very important. Be humble and accept positive and negative feedback gracefully. Always remember, be modest, right? Arrogance is simply evil. It is going to destroy you. Believe me, vanity does not give you anything in your life. Therefore, be modest. Try to learn everything. Use that constructive feedback for your own benefit, for polishing your own personality. And the last point is, ask questions and clarify doubts, because no question is a dumb question. Any moment anybody is asking me a question, sometimes we start considering even the questions also insignificant. So it is very important that we should even be giving due respect to all those questions. We should try to solve them, and believe me, no question is a dumb question. So hopefully, if you follow all these tips, you are going to be very self-confident, you are going to be exuding more positive body language, and definitely you can rock the world. So wishing you all the best, happy learning to you all.